Welcome to B2B Tech Talk, Ingram Micro's destination for information on technology, business, and the people that make them run. This episode is sponsored by Xvantage, Ingram Micro's game changing platform designed to help your business run better and grow faster. There is no industry as ripe as healthcare that can benefit from the hottest technologies on the market today. Joining us on this episode of B2B Tech Talk is Ingram Micro healthcare focused partner, Pixel Health. From Pixel Health, we have Barbara Casey, President of Consulting, Mike Michalski, Executive Vice President of Business Development and Strategic Partnerships. From Ingram Micro, we have Senior Technologist Carl Connolly. And joining us as special guest is Paul Spencer, Channel Chief at T-Mobile for Business. Welcome to B2B Tech Talk. It's so great to have all of you here. I have to tell you, this is the largest group we've had on B2B Tech Talk, and we're joined here by Pixel Health. We've got T-Mobile, and we have Ingram Micro represented, and we've got a lot to talk about on the show today. So, Barbara, I'm going to start with you. Can you tell us about Pixel Health, a little bit about what you do, where you're located?
Great. Thanks, Nina. Pixel Health is a digital health consultancy. We serve providers, so large health systems, and our goal is to really optimize their end user experiences. So, who is that? That's the patient, that's the consumer, it's their families, but then it's also clinicians. It's the doctors and nurses in the environment and everywhere that they practice what they do. And we're just delighted to be here.
That must be so rewarding to know that you're changing outcomes that affect patient care. That's amazing. What about you?
Thanks, Nina. Mike Michalski with Pixel Health. Yeah, to add to Barbara's comments, absolutely, we're all about helping the end user experience, but it's hopefully over time improving patient outcomes as well. And so it's not only what Barbara's team leads from a consulting perspective, it's also what we could do with our managed service part of our business as well. So really helping to make an organization operationally more efficient and getting them to focus on what they do best, and that's delivering care.
Fantastic. I also want to acknowledge Paul from T-Mobile. Paul, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Nina. So I run Channel Chief for T-Mobile here.
Okay.
So I run everything that regards to partners, our partner programs. We have a very strong relationship with Ingram, which is why we're here at Ingram One, and really excited about our partnership with Pixel as well.
Excellent. Well, we are excited to tell your story, and I know there's a great story here today to tell, but I want to go back to Barbara and Mike and talk about how you were brought together into the Ingram Micro ecosystem.
So we were called by Boston Children's, and they were undergoing quite a bit of digital transformation, going to a new electronic medical record system. As part of that, they really needed to completely overhaul their clinical communications and collaboration processes. So we were asked to help them do that, come up with a strategy and then a plan as to how to make that happen. And in that endeavor, we realized that some of their infrastructure really needed to be just amplified and enhanced in order for those clinicians to stay connected and to communicate well. And I'll pass it to Mike because then we can talk about how we met.
Sure, yeah. So our relationship with Ingram Micro has been developing over a number of years, and everybody thinks, of course, as they should, about Ingram as being one of the top, if not the top, distribution partner on the planet. However, they provide another valuable service to us, and that is they are really good with bringing sometimes new and conventional, sometimes unconventional ideas to the table for us to evaluate. And I wouldn't say it's unconventional, but they introduced us to Paul and his team at Ingram One last year. And that was the genesis of us starting to really on the journey of figuring out how to connect the dots between what T-Mobile can do with their private 5G capabilities and how could we apply that efficiently and effectively within the healthcare provider market.
That's fantastic. And Carl, you're the matchmaker in all of this?
That's it, Nina. I am the matchmaker. So Ingram, as you know, is a large provider of product, but we're also a provider of relationships. And in this case, this is a very symbiotic and complementary relationship in the sense that we have a very capable partner with Pixel who are hands down experts in healthcare. who have identified a challenge for their customer, and that partner then with an expert in the mobile network operating world, which is T-Mobile. So T-Mobile was able to bring together not only their investment in spectrum, but also their expertise and their willingness to be malleable in this. I have to say, T-Mobile have been absolutely fantastic throughout the entire engagement, willing to listen, willing to do things that are sometimes a little bit beyond what their normal offerings are just to make this happen. So it's been fantastic.
I applaud T-Mobile because it's not about the size of the company. It's about your speed and agility and nimbleness to be able to adapt to changing markets. And I know working for a large company, we went through a giant transformation over the past couple of years. And if it wasn't for that nimble and agile attitude, we wouldn't be where we are today. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Okay, now in comes Boston Children's Healthcare, and they have a problem to solve. They have an outcome that they're trying to achieve, and you see things that they're not even seeing, right? Is that right, Pixel? That in terms of the need for high-speed internet that's available anywhere in the building. Am I telling the story right?
Yes, I'd say so. I mean, this is something that they've dealt with, having to support wireless connectivity for a very long time. And it's something their own team has taken on
Yeah.
for such a long time. I think this solution that we're bringing to them collectively really solves a number of different problems for them, not just the connectivity, but also how they support this particular high level of connectedness in their environment and also how they want to pay for it. So there's a lot of different positives in the way that this particular relationship was architected.
That's awesome. So back to T-Mobile, you've come in and you are working with the team. This is a first for T-Mobile, a private 5G network within a healthcare system. That's got to be super exciting. And this is happening like today. Announcements have been made.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. We were doing another interview a little while ago, and it happened like we didn't coordinate it. It felt like we did, but it was like literally when we started the interview, then we announced that we dropped the press release on our website. So this is it's a big moment for us today. This is a really big partnership for us, and what I think it underscores is T-Mobile's prowess in the 5G arena. 5G is something that I think any carrier we'd love to advertise on a Sunday,
Sure.
which is great. But what does it mean if I'm a partner out there? What does it mean if I'm a business? If I'm a healthcare system? I think this shows this is really what it does mean.
All right, Carl, where do we go from here? We're working with these great partners, and are we going to be able to copy and paste going forward to be able to offer this quicker to other organizations in healthcare?
Yeah, Nina, that's a really good point. I think, in working with both teams and in getting some exposure to their customers, it's become very apparent that actually a lot of healthcare customers are facing this exact same challenge, right? Everybody has the need for application access that is wireless, so you can communicate, collaborate in real time with low latency and high security. And number one, I think in healthcare, it has to be reliable and it has to be ubiquitous. And this solution really provides that, hands down. So T-Mobile brings the infrastructure and the capabilities, and Pixel Health then can address the business challenges and effectuate the outcome very, very well. So yeah, arguably this is a template that we want to rinse and repeat, not only with Pixel, but I would say to the other partners out there, T-Mobile has realized the value of partnership. And there are many other verticals that Pixel don't participate in,
Sure.
that T-Mobile is open and candid about wanting to partner with other Ingram partners to pixelize their vertical, if you will.
Oh, I love that. We're going to have to use that. Pixelize your vertical. Y'all don't mind if we use that, do you?
Not at all.
Okay. So when do you start work at Boston Children's Healthcare?
When did we start work?
Digging for putting in the 5G network.
It's already started.
Yeah.
And what is the timeline?
So the network itself functionally has to be in before February of next year.
Okay.
There are a couple of key drivers happening there that have to happen before, such as the application in the stack, but arguably it has to be up and running and functional by summer of next year.
Okay.
So a pretty aggressive schedule, but team's doing an amazing job.
And when will the project be complete?
I
As
think
in this iteration?
In this iteration, summer of next year
Next year,
is when
okay.
they go live on Epic. So
So
all
I'm
has to culminate in that particular go live.
we're going to invite you back. You know this. This is such a story that we can all follow, and I know our audience loves following these types of stories because as they're thinking of offering complex solutions, because this is a very complex solution, and you have to have the right ecosystem orchestration in place for it to go off effectively. So we want to follow this journey so we can advise people along the way. You know, here's where the gotchas are. Here's where you're going to really, double down your effort. So I think that our partners would really love to hear that from you guys.
We'd love to come
Absolutely.
back and share,
Yeah, you
share the
bet.
success.
Okay, so we talked about some of the other vertical markets, but I want to go back to healthcare. And how are you approaching this from going after other hospitals coming to you now going, I want what what she's having, right? Is that what's happening?
Absolutely. Yeah. Mike, why don't you talk
Yeah,
about
well, today was the official, if you will, coming out party
Oh,
with
yeah,
the press
yeah,
release
yeah.
on T-Mobile's website. We feel, and Barbara stated this, pretty much every health system we deal with is dealing with common challenges like this, right?
Yeah.
So, and there's challenges beyond technology. So many of the systems we deal with are under immense financial pressures right now. And this solution solves a number of things at the same time. Not only does it put a solution of the future in place to help you with the challenges you're dealing with today and to support other large initiatives like we're doing and supporting at Boston Children's, but it also gives you the ability to extend other use cases that you never thought possible. How could you extend your wireless connectivity beyond the four walls of your enterprise? How can you extend it in a secure way? How could you do more work with potentially other health systems across the country and across the globe, again, in a secure, low latency way? This solution makes all that possible, in addition to working with the two gentlemen here and others between Ingram Micro and T-Mobile. The financial model, in our opinion, is second to none. It really gives the end user, the customer, this easy button, a predictable consumption-based OpEx approach to not only procuring the private 5G solution, but also we roll in devices and managed services. There's really nothing else like it out there in the market today.
And I'll just add to that. You can imagine to put a solution like this into a major hospital takes a lot of due diligence. It takes a lot of investment, and it takes a lot of forward-looking thinking. And what Boston Children's have done here is really made a down payment on their future. 5G as a standard will likely be the default until 2030, until we start hearing about 6G. So as Mike said, the investment now paid will open the door now to a whole slew of use cases that heretofore just weren't possible. So this technology is like insulated them against, legacy for the future.
That is that's inspiring. How gratifying it must be for all of you here to be working on something that is going to improve. It's not just a customer outcome. These are patients, and in Boston Children's Healthcare situation, it's children, right? It's their parents, it's the families. That has to be incredibly gratifying.
it is very meaningful indeed.
I love it. Before we close, anything else you guys want to share? T-Mobile?
I think the interesting thing about this whole use case is I'll take back to like we all had dinner last night. And so one of the really interesting things is already the adjacencies that have come out of the deal that we announced this morning.
Yeah.
So there's a deal we announced this morning, and that's part of it. But now we're already on to like the second and third and fourth piece out of the deal. And so if I'm a partner out there, I think what becomes interesting is 5G or T-Mobile or a private network, any of those three. This is like the tip of the spear for you to go in and work with your customers and then be able to continue to add expertise and monetize that relationship. And that's what we're here for with Ingram, is to work with Ingram partners on is how do we go help you expand your practice? How do we grow your business together?
One thing I did want to point out that a lot of our partners may not know is in the case of Pixel Health, we also have skewed up products that we have never done before. And that's a bold move. It's creative. And I want to thank you all because it really opens up more doors for Ingram Micro. Once you do it one time and you get the right people involved, we're able to look at other opportunities in that way. So thank you for that. This is so exciting. And again, I promise I'm going to bring you all back to the table again. Want to get Heather involved as well at some point so we can follow the story. But this has been delightful, and I really, really appreciate all that you're doing and appreciate you being on the show today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, Nina.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode and you want to continue the conversation online, use hashtag B2B Tech Talk.